Hello, my name is Daria, welcome to my channel, and today I have my next update for Pan Those Eyeshadows for you. And it's quite an exciting update. I have some rollouts, so we will be rolling in new eyeshadows in the end of this video. But this project was created by Alexi and I will link her down below. And basically everybody does this project a little bit differently. I'm working on 5 random eyeshadows and I randomize palettes and then I randomize shadows from these palettes. And my goal is of course to hit pan, but I have also a usage goal. If I hit 20 uses on an eyeshadow, then I can roll it out even if I don't hit pan on it. But if I want to continue working on this eyeshadow, then I can leave it in this project of course and try to hit pan on it even if I reach this 20 uses goal. Also, I won't be working on eyeshadows that are too similar to something that I'm painting right now in Pan That palette, for example. But now I think I won't be working only on lid setting shades or on a black shade, because both of them are right now in my Pan That palette. And I think that's kind of it, because I finished a lot of the eyeshadows in my Pan That palette already. But let's start with the eyeshadows that were in this project the least amount of time. I rolled in this palette, it's 2 Up palette from Little Cosmetics last update, and I've rolled in the shade Console. And that's what it's looking like right now. As you can see, I have a dip in this shade. It's not very large dip, but it's okay. And I've managed to use this shade 5 times since my last update. And it was kind of my soft goal to use each shade 5 times. Or of course hit pan. I really like this shade and I'm glad that I'm using it, and I will be happy to continue working on it. I also rolled in last update this palette. It's Desert Monsoon from WhatsUp Beauty, and from this palette I rolled in the shade Thunder. That's this shade and that's what it's looking like right now. And I have quite a nice dip in it. It's just a basic deep brown shade, and I usually use it in my outer corner or on my lower lash line, and I've managed to use this shade 9 times. It's not a very exciting shade, but I can use it in a lot of looks that I create, because almost every time that I do my eyeshadows, I need some deepening shade, and this shade can do it. So yeah, I'm glad that I was able to use it 9 times since my last update, so just in a month. I think it's great, and I suspect that I might be able to use it an additional 11 times in order to hit my 20 use goal by the next update. But I think I will keep this shade in even if I don't hit pan in these 20 uses, because I see a nice dip in it and I believe that I will be able to hit pan on it. And I forgot to do swatches, so that's the first 2 shades that are staying in. In June, I rolled in this bright palette from Beauty Bay, and I was working on the shade Orange Soda. And I hope you will be able to see that I hit pan in this shade. And it took me an additional 2 uses to hit a pen in this shade. So before my last update I've used orange soda 8 times, and then this update I've used it an additional 3 times. I've managed to hit pen on 10th use, and I used it an additional time just in order to expand this pen quite a bit. And I really loved this shade, and it was great for summer. It was very bright, very orange, very warm. I just loved it very much. I use this shade on my lower lash line and also on my lid, but mostly I used it on my lower lash line, and I really liked it. But I'm happy to put this palette away and work on something new. In May I wrote in this the child, I think, yeah, the child palette from ColourPop, and I'm working on the shade Right Hand Mando. And as you can see, we don't have a pen yet. Well, it's not quite true. I've broke this shade last update before I was filming last update, and it shattered, but I've managed to save some bits of it. I repressed it in this pen, and since then it wasn't really a great experience to use. I dry pressed this shade, I didn't use any alcohol, and I'm not planning to do it because it's a shimmer shade and I'm kind of afraid to use alcohol with shimmer shades, to be honest. But I've hit pen on this eyeshadow a couple of weeks ago, and then it crumbled on me and I had to repress it again. So we don't have a pen in it, but I've used this eyeshadow 6 times since my last update for a total of 13 uses in this project, and it will be staying in. And that's what this shade is looking like. And in April I rolled in this Sigma Cor-De-Rosa palette, and I was working on the shade Campfire, and I've managed to hit pen on it finally. That's what it's looking like, and the most annoying part is that it took me only 1 extra use to hit pen on it. So in total I've used it 18 times in this project, and I've hit pen on my 18th use. Yeah, but it's okay. I'm really happy that I've hit a pen on it finally, and that I will be rolling out this palette. It's not my favorite palette at all. I don't really like the quality of this palette, and this Campfire shade wasn't that great either. It was okay, but I didn't love it. So I'm really happy that this palette is rolling out. And now the most fun part of this project is rolling in new shadows and new palettes. I had 2 roll out this month, so I will be rolling in 2 new palettes. And also I forgot to mention that if a palette is already in a project, or if a palette has a pen in one of the shadows already, I won't be working on it, because ultimately, like, my big goal right now is to have a pen in each palette in my collection. And also I've hit all of my pens this year, so basically I've worked on these palettes not so long ago, and I want to show some love to my other palettes. So this is my Tiny Decision app, and it has all of my palettes here. I've blackened out palettes that are already in projects or have pen on them, but maybe I didn't get every palette, so we will see. And now we will roll two palettes and then I will bring them and we will roll shades from them. So the first palette will be Lush Life from ColourPop. It's great. I'm okay with that. And the second palette and the second palette will be Rose Quartz from Huda Beauty, which is also great. So let me find this palette and I will be back. So the first palette is Lush Life from ColourPop and it has 12 shades in it. That's what it's looking like, and I don't have any pens in it. So we will randomize a shade from 1 to 12. It's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's this orange or red shimmer. I'm not really sure, but let me swatch it for you. So that's the swatch of the shade Hotness, and to be honest, it reminds me of Orange Soda from the Beauty Bay Bright palette that I was working on. But that's okay, I really like this type of shade, so I think it will be okay to work on it for me. And that's Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty and it has 19 shades in it. So that's what it's looking like. And we will randomize a shade from 1 to 18. And it's the shade 8. So the first row is 6 shades, so we have 7 and 8. And it's the shade Energized. And let me swatch it for you. So that's what the shade Energized is looking like, and that's my color story for this update. I'm quite happy about it, I think. I really like the two shades that we rolled in, and to be honest, this shade is also kind of reminds me of the shade Campfire from Cor-De-Rosa palette that I've just rolled out. But it's okay, I think I will be able to use all of these shades quite a lot, and I think I'm not really sure, but I would really like to roll out this shade from the Child palette, Right Hand Mando, by the next update. I have 13 uses on it now, and I guess I will be aiming to have at least 20 uses by the next update. I'm not really sure that it's possible to hit pen on this shade and to keep this pen, if it makes sense, but I really hope so, and I hope that in these 7 uses I will be able to hit pen. And I usually use this shade on my inner part of the lid, and by the way, I'm using this shade now in that capacity in the inner part of my lid, and I really like it. And recently I was more into some green looks, so I think it won't be that much of a problem to use this shade an additional 7 times. And also I think I will try my hardest to use this shade Thunder an additional 11 times to meet my 20 uses goal on it. I don't know if I will be able to hit pen on it at 20 uses, but I will try my hardest. And as always, I think my soft goal will be to use each shade in this project at least 5 times. I think it's an okay goal. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I hope you will stay with me on my project painting journey. Thank you again so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!